Students, we are going to start a new lesson, and the new lesson's topic is cloud technology. Okay, in other terms, it is also known as cloud computing. Now you can look at the picture, look at the diagram. The cloud is similar to the clouds that we see in the sky. Now, the cloud that we see in the sky, it collects raindrops, but this is not the same that collects the raindrops. Cloud computing refers to that space, that cloud which collects the data and which helps in different services. Okay, so let us understand more about cloud technology or cloud computing. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services. Computing services refers to it can be storage of database, it can be different servers through which we get the information. Okay, so cloud computing is the delivery of computing services including servers, storage, databases, networking. We have learned about what are these: software, analytics, and intelligence over the internet. That is the cloud. So when these computing services are delivered over the internet, that is termed as cloud technology or cloud computing. Now, cloud technology also offers faster innovation. Like, you know that we are living in a faster world, right? Where the education is fast, where the business should run fast, right? Where the medical innovation should be quick and fast. So, cloud technology, it offers faster innovation, flexible resources. You don't need to be present at your home to retrieve or to take all the data that is present in your computer. You can just save those data in the cloud and you can see those resources anywhere in the world. Only you need to have an internet connectivity and a device that helps running the internet. And it also offers economies of scale, faster economies of scale, like quicker business. Nowadays, there are a lot of online shopping, right? Economy scale. So faster innovation. There are different ways how we can buy things online, and we don't need to be present in the shop to purchase things. Amazon, Flipkart, even online classes that you are experiencing this like few months, or it's almost like 2 years now, 1.5 year. So all of these are done by the help of cloud technology. Okay, and this cloud makes it possible for us to access our information from any time at any time. Okay, from anywhere at any time. Like I was telling to you, once you store the data in the cloud, the server, you don't even need to have a big space server or a big space storage device where you have to store all your information. You just need to store the data in the cloud, and you can access those information from anywhere at any time. And to use cloud technology, you must have access to internet, because without having access to internet, you will not be able to use this cloud technology. So these are some of the basic things about cloud technology or cloud technology. Okay, so using cloud technology, we need not to be in same physical location. We don't need to be in the same physical place. Like I was telling you, that if you have data, that's what I do sometimes, right? I store the data in the cloud, and I don't need to carry my laptop. I just need to have a device which gives me access to the internet, and I can access those information from anywhere. So using the cloud technology or cloud computing, we need not to be in the same physical location. Okay, so this is what cloud technology or cloud computing is. Now let us understand some characteristics of cloud computing. The first one is it reduces a lot of expense, reduced cost. Now cloud computing, it eliminates the capital expense, the main expense where people spend lakhs and crores of rupees buying hardwares and softwares and setting up and running on-site data centers, right, from where people can have access to the information present there. The racks of servers, a lot of servers is kept in the racks. The round the clock electricity should be available for power and cooling, because once your system is running 24/7, it needs to be cooled, right? And there is a need of an IT expert also. If something goes wrong with the managing of the system, hardware or software, you need an IT expert to resolve those problems. So the IT expert for managing the infrastructure, right, the connectivity of your computers and how it uses the hardware, software, all of these needed. But cloud computing has reduced most of these costs. You don't need to spend lakhs and crores of rupees when you're using cloud computing. Let's see another characteristic of cloud computing: rapid elasticity. Rapid elasticity. Now, what does this mean? Rapid elasticity. The benefits of cloud computing services, it includes ability to scale elastically, to expand elastically, to spread the business elastically abroad in a broad manner. Okay, in cloud speak, that means delivering the right amount of IT resources. For example, more or less computing power, storage, bandwidth, right when it is needed and from the right geographic location. So that means if in an office there are 5 people working, you can be in 5 different locations and you can control those areas, your workers under you from those places. You don't need to be in one place. Okay, that is why cloud computing has made business, education, medical science more of elastic. Okay, it has more expanded. Let's see the next characteristic of cloud computing: performance. Performance is very important when you talk about cloud computing. The biggest cloud computing services run on a worldwide network of secure data centers. Now, these are regularly upgraded to the latest generation of fast and efficient computing hardware. So the performance is, we can say, the best, because it regularly gets upgraded to the latest generation. And unlike if you are using your system, your computer, your desktop, or your hard drives, your external hard drives, what would happen when you're using a computer? You need to upgrade it, right? And to upgrade it, you have to pay a little higher. But when you're using cloud computing, the servers automatically and regularly keeps on upgrading to the latest generation, so you are not lagging behind, and that's why the performance is very good. Let's see another characteristic of cloud computing: on-demand self-service. A very nice characteristic of cloud computing. What do we mean by on-demand self-service? Now, the cloud computing services does not require any human administrators. Users themselves are able to provision, monitor, and manage computing resources as needed. Like, for example, you don't need to have a shopkeeper to tell you or to provide to you some of the products. You can just self-serve yourself, right, by yourself, by looking at the product, by looking at the price, and ordering those devices or those products just by few clicks. You don't need a shopkeeper, you don't need an administrator, you don't need a human administrator. So that is what on-demand self-service refers to, and that is one of the very good characteristic of cloud computing. Online shopping, right? We can talk about that as on-demand self-service. You don't need any person. Unless and until you have any problem, you can call to the customer care, but otherwise if you're purchasing anything or window shopping, right, you can just browse through all the products and whichever you like, even without talking to anybody, you can just, without talking to the administrator or a shopkeeper, you can just order for it and the delivery person will deliver those products at your home. One very nice characteristic of cloud computing. Let's see another characteristic of cloud computing: broad network access. Now, what is this broad network access? The computing services are generally provided over standard networks and any device. So these computing services are provided almost on any device and mostly on any standard networks. Okay, and it allows the users to access from anywhere at any time. So if you are able to access your data from anywhere at any time, you can think about such a broad network access, right? So that is what broad network access refers to. Let us see another characteristic of cloud computing: resource pooling. Resources. There are a lot of resources in the internet. Okay, resource pooling. So let us understand what is this resource pooling. The IT resources like networks, servers, storage, applications and services present, they are shared across multiple applications. Okay, they are shared across multiple applications and occupant in an uncommitted manner. So all these resources like network, servers, storage, applications, services and many more of the IT resources can be shared across multiple applications, right? So these resources are pooled, and that is why this is another very nice characteristic of cloud computing: resource pooling. Now let us see some of the different types of clouds. I have explained to you about cloud computing or cloud technology, and then I have explained to you about the characteristics of cloud computing. Now we will see different types of clouds. The first type of cloud that we'll be seeing is public cloud. By the name itself, you should be able to know what does this mean when we talk about public. Now, public clouds are owned and operated by third-party cloud service providers. Okay, a third-party cloud service providers, and it provides those services to people. Now, these deliver their computing resources like servers and storage over the internet. One of the example of public cloud is Microsoft Azure. Okay, now even the app that we use in the school, the web app, that also is provided by a third-party cloud service provider, that is Amazon. So this is what a public cloud is. Now with a public cloud, all hardware, software and other supporting infrastructure is owned and managed by a cloud provider. We don't need to have the softwares, and that's what web apps are. And we can access these services and manage using our account, using a web browser. Okay, using a web browser we can access these services and manage our account. Let us see what I'm talking about public cloud. Now they are very flexible, right? Like you can see some of the examples there. Google Cloud is there, Microsoft Azure, which I was talking about, iCloud is there, and we have Amazon Web Services, which I was talking to you about. Then we have, you can see the icon over here, and that icon refers to what? This icon or this picture icon refers to the Dropbox. Alright, so this is what a public cloud is, the server provided by the third party. Now let us understand, or let us see the second type of cloud. The second type of cloud is known as private cloud. By the name itself, you should be knowing what kind of cloud is this. Basically, clouds are used for services and storing of data. So a private cloud refers to cloud computing resources used exclusively by a single business or organization. Okay, so this cloud computing resource is used exclusively by a single business or organization. And a private cloud can be physically located on the company's on-site data center. Okay, so a private cloud can be located at a company's on-site data center. And this private cloud is one in which the services and the infrastructure, they are maintained on a private network. Okay, not by the third party provider. It is maintained on a private network. So this is what a private cloud is. And when we talk about private cloud, like I was telling you, it is used for a single business, it is used by a single organization, managed services, software, storage, infrastructure. This is all for a single, exclusively single organization. Okay, so this is what private cloud is. Now let us see the next type of cloud, the third type of cloud. The third type of cloud is community cloud. Now I'm sure that by listening to this word community, you know that what kind of service it provides. Community cloud. Now community cloud is a hybrid form of private cloud. We have already talked about private cloud, and after this we'll be talking about hybrid cloud. Okay, so now you just remember that the community cloud is a hybrid form of private cloud. Okay, hybrid form of private cloud. In private cloud we have learned what it is for a single business, right? But it is a hybrid form. Now the purpose of this concept is to allow many customers, multiple customers, to work on one joint projects. So it helps many customers to work on one joint projects, okay, or on joint projects and applications that belong to that community. So this is what community cloud is. And when I'm talking about community cloud, you can look over here that there are three organizations. Okay, all of these three organizations are working for the community. Okay, they have a joint project and they are working for a single community cloud that you can see on the screen. In the second diagram also you can see that there are many people who are working as a joint project, okay, for a joint project. Now here also you can see 4 different organizations, right, connected to the community cloud. So this is what a community cloud is. The last type of cloud that we'll be talking about is hybrid cloud, like I was telling you before. Now what is this hybrid cloud? Hybrid cloud is a combination of public and private clouds. Okay, they are bound together by technology that allows data and applications to be shared between both of these clouds, public and private clouds. Now one very nice thing about this cloud, hybrid cloud, is it provides flexibility, because there will be more people, right? There will be more projects the project can be more vast, because both public and private clouds are combined here. And by allowing data and applications to move between the private and the public clouds, a hybrid cloud gives the business much greater flexibility, okay, much better expandability and flexibility, more arranged options, and helps increase the present infrastructure. When we talk about infrastructure, it's about building structures and facilities, and it also helps increase security. It is more secure. So by this we can say that hybrid clouds are much more secure. So what is a hybrid cloud? It's a combination of public and private clouds. Now a hybrid cloud would look something like this, a combination of private cloud and public cloud, right? So the apps are shared between these two, different softwares are shared between these two operating systems, private cloud OS and public cloud OS. When we combine them, then a hybrid cloud is formed. Now let us see some of the advantages of cloud computing. What are some of the advantages of cloud computing? Okay, let's see the first advantage of cloud computing. The first advantage is cost saving. This is very, very important, right? Now, this cloud computing, when we're using cloud computing, it helps us to save a lot of capital cost, because we don't need physical hardware investments. We don't need to buy big computers, rent a big room, rent a big office, buy tables and benches and peripherals and cables, and we don't need all those. We don't need even to buy storage, right, when we're talking about the internal and external storage to store the data. So cloud computing provides a lot of cost saving. This is the first advantage of cloud computing. The second advantage is it's quite fast, high speed. Cloud computing allows us to deploy our service quickly in fewer clicks. Okay, we don't need to, like, even if you have a problem with in your mobile phone or in a computer, you don't even need to go to the shop. You just need to contact the customer service and they will help you out online. Okay, they can just connect to your computer or your mobile phone, and they can resolve your problem just sitting wherever they are. So you can see that it allows us to deploy our services very quickly. The third type of advantage is backup and restore data. Once the data is stored in a cloud, it is much easier to get the backup and recovery of that. Like I was telling you before, if you store your data in the cloud, you don't need to search for your pen drive, you don't need to search, you don't need to boot your computer, you don't need to start your mobile phone or search it where you have stored it, right? So when you have stored the data in the cloud, it is much easier to get the backup and recovery of that. So that means if you have stored the data in the cloud, suppose if you have taken pictures using your mobile phone and you saved it in your mobile phone, the memory card in your mobile phone, and the other person has saved it in the cloud, and suppose something happened and both of the mobile phones or memory cards got spoiled, the first person will have a bigger loss, right? The reason is because he or she cannot recover the data. But the second person, even if the mobile phone or the memory card is spoiled, he or she can still recover it from the cloud. So this is a very good advantage of cloud computing. The fourth advantage is automatic software integration. In cloud, software integration occurs automatically. You don't need to go to the shop for upgradation. You don't need to go to any IT personnel to upgrade or integrate your software. It automatically integrates. Okay, it automatically upgrades. Now let's see the next advantage of cloud computing: reliability. Whenever you are using something, that product should be reliable, right? We can depend on it. So reliability is one of the biggest benefits of cloud hosting. We can rely on it. The sixth advantage is mobility. Now when we talk about mobility, the employees who are working on the premises or at remote locations, okay, at home or at somewhere remote location, can easily access all the good services. All the services they need to access, they can access it. All they need is an internet connectivity. Okay, so when we talk about mobility, cloud computing gives us much better access to our data from in anywhere we are. We can share the data wherever we are. Okay, so that is another advantage of cloud computing. The seventh advantage is unlimited storage capacity. When you're storing the data in the cloud, you get unlimited storage capacity. Of course, some of the providers, they provide us with 15 GB or 10 GB or 20 GB of storage, but you can easily, anytime, you can quickly expand your storage capacity with very nominal monthly fees. Alright, so the seventh advantage is unlimited storage capacity. Of course, 15 to 20 GB is your free storage, but if you want to expand it, you have to pay a nominal monthly fee and then it will be expanded. There is no limit for the storage. So many business people or many professional photographers or professional database resources, right, resourceful people, they use this unlimited storage capacity of cloud. Let's see another advantage of cloud, on-demand self-service, which we have already talked about. The resources can be used without interaction with any cloud service provider. You don't need to interact with the human administrator. You don't need to interact with the shopkeeper, right? So that is what on-demand self-service is. So these are 8 advantages of cloud computing. Now, obviously, there will be some disadvantages. Okay, so now let us see some disadvantages of cloud computing. The first disadvantage of cloud computing is performance can vary, performance can change. Now you have to remember this abbreviate, okay, DDoS, distributed denial of service. Now this DDoS could affect the performance of your shared resources. Now how does this affect? Suppose where you are, you do not have a proper net service, internet service. You're not able to access some of the information in the cloud. Very common problem is you're not able to join Google Chat, right? Or you're not able to join Google Meet, maybe because of network problem, not only in your end, maybe then there is a server or network problem in the service provider's end. So what happens? There is denial of service. So performance can vary. But if these problems are not there, if you are having a good internet service, there is no server problem. I mean, if there is no server problem in the other end and the net service is good, then there will be no problem. So, but this is one of the disadvantage of cloud computing, but this can be resolved. The second disadvantage is technical issues. Now, cloud technology is always prone to an outage. Now, what is this outage? You can see on your screen, I have put the meaning of outage. It is a time or it is a period when a power supply, electricity supply or other service is not available, or when equipment is closed down. Okay, so this is a technical issue, and so cloud technology is always prone to an outage and other technical issues. But if there is no problem, cloud computing runs very well. The next disadvantage of cloud computing is a very big thing about cloud computing: security threat in the cloud. This is another drawback while working with cloud computing services, is security risk. That is why it is always advised that do not open any site which is not secured. Okay, do not use a browser which is not secured. You should always use a browser which has security, which is much more secured. Otherwise, hackers might access your information. Okay, so if you are using a secured browser or secured website, then the companies that have those websites and those browsers, they see that their browsers and their websites are secured. Yes, but this is one of the disadvantages of cloud computing: security threat in the cloud. And the next disadvantage of cloud computing is internet connectivity. Good internet connectivity is a must in cloud computing. right? If you do not have a proper internet connectivity, you will not be able to access the service provided by the cloud computing or cloud technology. Like, quite often it happens nowadays because there's a lot of online classes going on, a lot of online shopping. So what happens is the traffic, we have learned before that the data are transferred in the form of, which is called as packets, right? And there is a lot of traffic while transferring of these data. So when there is, so these are sometimes which causes an internet connectivity problem. And you might have also experienced while having this online class and live class, sometimes your internet goes down and you have to reconnect, right? So this is one of the disadvantage of cloud computing. But if you have a proper and good internet connectivity, then cloud computing gives you the best service that you can think of. So these are some of the disadvantages that we have talked about. So we have learned apart from the lesson, that is cloud technology or cloud computing. I want you to go through this video note once again and see it and hear it many times so that you can understand it much better and you can keep these points in your mind. So keep studying well and keep learning well. I hope you have understood whatever we have learned today.